So, Mish, I promised the people I would talk to them about TNA Victory Road. I don't think you got a chance to watch that. I had to put it off for days, to be honest, to even get to it. So not that I don't care, but they had a great big house. Yes. They just did more tapings down in Austin, Texas, I believe, or this event was from Austin. I apologize, guys, but they just did more tapings that were like all sold out too. Yeah. So good on them. And this building had like 2,000 people in it. The aesthetic was fire. It was well lit. It had the old yellow, black, and red feel. You know, the red ropes looked awesome. They should just keep those for TV all the time. And the building was well lit. AEW needs to take some notes from TNA. They figured it out. They figured out how to get people invested, have partnerships and work with companies where they can bring in wrestlers that people actually want to see. Yeah. They get the wrestlers that people actually want to see involved in stories with the main TNA talent. They have it formatted well to where, you know, Joe Hendry's like the biggest deal right now in wrestling, and he's over there and he's basically like in TNA's like he's a top guy, but he's supporting and almost like helping get over Jordan Grace and Nick Nemeth and all the main TNA that's going on. It's brilliant.
He's almost bigger because I think the NXT audience, the fans of NXT, watch TNA now for Joe Hendry. I think he's bigger, and I hate to say that because it may sound like I'm trying to belittle anyone. I'm not. Yeah. I'm just saying Joe Hendry is such a blue chip star that he is going to be your next level guy. He is breaking out of the business.
Oh, absolutely. And wait a minute. Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. I thought if you said his name, he appears. Is he here? Mish, is he here?
He might be. He might be.
God damn it. He's not here yet. You know, it happens every time. Every show, I swear to God. One day, guys. But anyways, though, yeah, it just looked great. The building's well lit. And yeah, with this whole crossover with NXT, I mean, you really don't know if a NXT guy is going to show up, if a TNA guy is going to show up on the other show, and it keeps both shows so exciting. And I don't know. I'm looking forward to when they do the NXT TNA Invasion PLE or whatever. Fun. Yeah, people are saying it'll be called Worlds Collide. I would just don't even, or maybe, I guess if they have a trademark, but you know, NXT goes with all of the old WCW PLE names. Just go with Invasion, dude. Just do the Invasion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude. Recreate the poster or whatever with, or I guess who would you create it with? Michaels and who? I guess D'Amore's gone from TNA. We don't really know who's. Tino Morella.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know who else you'd put in. What would you put? Tommy Dreamer? Drag him back in there?
I don't even know. Hopefully not. No, shout out Dreamer. No, I'm not hating. But anyways, though, man, it was an awesome show. Kushida, Leon Slater. Kushida won. He needed a win. I'm not going to get into the grimy of this guy's. Pardon me. Jake Something and Hammerstone throwdown with Steve Macklin and Eric Young. Again, I don't know. I like Macklin when he's a heel. I like Young when he's more of a heel. Something and Hammerstone are sort of playing that middle, because like you want to cheer for them, but they're kind of these big burly badass dudes. Right. And they get a big win, and this is an awesome tag team putting Something and Hammerstone together. I think it's a great pairing just because they're both sort of unique powerhouses. I don't know, but we recently saw Hammerstone on NXT. Yeah. He showed up out of nowhere in a losing effort, but just phenomenal. Like, we know now that Shawn Michaels and WWE have their eyes on this dude, which is long overdue. And yeah, I don't know, man. This match was what it was. But are you a big fan of Jake Something or Hammerstone? You familiar with those guys?
I've sseen Jake Something a few times. I go to the TNA events when they come around here to Chicago. They actually go up in Cicero. Yeah. The venues are, I mean, the venue that they play at is always extra warm, but the audience is always into it. You know, like one of the comments that I got the other day, and I was doing one of the shows, is they're like, oh, you know, when TNA does these shows, it always seems like they're quiet. And I'm like, it really isn't that way. Whereas like WWE audiences can sometimes get rabid, TNA audiences, when you're there live, people are engrossed. Let me tell you, Phil, people are sitting there paying attention to every molecule, every move, every sudden shudder that any guy makes in that ring. It's almost like the quiet respect you see in Japanese audiences.
Yeah.
But I'm always so amazed every time I go to TNA, not that people are quiet, that people are just so entertained, so engrossed into what's going on in the ring. It's amazing. It's a great feel. But yeah, Jake something is good. I've seen him a few times. Alex Hammerstone, I've even seen him in MLW. He is absolutely a guy that NXT has their eyes on. You are dead set right on that. I would not be surprised if he's going to be one of those players in this NXT TNA invasion that happens. So
both of these guys, man, Jake Something and Hammerstone, bring them both in, man. You know, Jake Something's got that look where it's like, yeah, he could be on main roster WWE tomorrow, you know, and I wouldn't even shock me.
All four of them got the size. Honestly, all four of those guys got the size to be in there. Absolutely.
Yeah, they do. I'm going to be real, and I'm a big, you know, I'm a Canuck, so I got to hold it down for my Canucks. I'm so over Eric Young. Like, dude, he's got to lead a faction, like Sanity, and just, I don't want to see him in singles runs anymore. I don't know. That's just me. I'm a hater, I guess. Pardon me?
Maybe a new Team Canada.
Oh, dude, I would mark out so hard for that. Oh, buddy, let's go. I'm so down. Moving along though, and I believe this set off the pay-per-view right here was the Hardys versus First Class. Now, you know, Casey Navarro replacing Rich Swann, who is doing treatment right now. Okay, guys, so prayers up for Rich Swann. I guess he has some sort of problem or so. I don't know, whatever. I don't want to get into all that, but or unless you want to, Mish, you got something to say about Rich Swann? Or
no, I hope he's okay.
Me too. Yeah, that's all. I don't wish, like, yeah, whatever he did, he was like a DUI or something. Okay, like that's not good, but people typically need help when they're in those situations more than, you know, we should. You know, just thank God no one's hurt or anything like that, or if that was even the situation. I have no idea. Jeff Hardy, though, is over here, and he's been through the same thing multiple times. So it's like, this isn't going to be the talk about DUI cast. So Navarro is replacing Swann because of these circumstances. And at first I went, this Navarro, I'm not really feeling him with AJ Francis, top dollar. And then, I don't know, this pay-per-view, it really clicked for me, them as a unit. I was like, damn, they work well together. And then when Swann's ready to come back, if you just add Swann and then there are trios, it works, man. To me, it really works. Navarro really was feeding off of Francis well, and they're like the modern day, the 2024 HBK and Diesel is now, essentially.
This is the Hardys' first pay-per-view in TNA.
Matt Hardy showed up, did a twist of fate to someone, and then when they went to Canada for the last pay-per-view, Jeff, obviously for obvious reasons, wasn't allowed in the country because in Canada, if you have like gun or DUI stuff, you're not allowed in the country unless you work for WWE. They figure it out somehow. And then so Matt wrestled on the pay-per-view. Or maybe it was on the pre-show even of the pay-per-view. I'm not sure. But yes, the Hardys together on pay-per-view in a tag match, full-fledged, their first time back together in TNA. And it was actually a great match. Like, I really enjoyed it, man. Navarro was great in there. Matt Hardy, you know, did what he did, you know. His body's like moves weird.
Is he back to V1 or is he doing the
they're just being the Hardys. They're not broken. Fair. They're not Navarro was making fun of the V1 stuff. He calls himself the blessed one, so he's like, yeah, B1, you know, and he has like and he's like doing his taunts and all, or you know, his mannerisms and all that. So, but Jeff Hardy, man, he looks better. He's looked better in TNA than he looked in his entire AEW run, period. Fantastic. So I don't know what the hell. Even when Hardy debuted in AEW, it was a little like, man, is he like missing a step? What's going on? Like there's something up with him. In TNA, I've seen none of that. It's like he's got an extra step back in him, and he looks rejuvenated. Yeah, so I don't know. Swanton twist of fate, Swanton bomb finish, 1, 2, 3. You know how it goes down, Mish. But yeah, it was a solid match to kick off the pay-per-view. I really enjoyed it, and I wish I could play these clips, but they'll pull me. I'll get Don Stevens, but yeah, we saw there was a couple good spots where you see like Francis throws him into the buckle. God, I don't want to get pulled down, but Francis does this choke slam, and he's awesome, man. Top Doll has been doing great work in TNA. I think
he's got a lot better once he got out of WWE. He's actually really improved, which is a complete surprise considering where he came from and what he was giving us back in the day versus what he's doing today. So it's one of those shoestring stories that you want to hear about. You want to hear about the guy that started at the bottom, or in this case, he started at the top, wasn't deserving of it, and now he's cutting his teeth in there and he's really trying to get better, and he is. So that's what we want to see.
Yeah, no doubt. We have Zack Wentz defending the X Division title against Mike Bailey, who won.
Yeah.
Yes. So I love Speedball. He won the title from Mustafa Ali, broke Ali's undefeated streak since he left WWE. He won it. And then they had the Ultimate X match. Wentz won it.
Okay.
And then so this is like sort of like a rematch of like Bailey was the last champ. Here's the new champ. And so Bailey won the belt back, which was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they're flopping it around like that. Why even put it on Wentz? I would have had Wentz about to win the Ultimate X, and then Wesley shows up in TNA again, fucks him, because Wesley was just in TNA recently with the Rascals. So so you just have him show up there again. He Wentz out of the belt. And then they go on and have a big match here at Victory Road where maybe Wes Lee from NXT gets his win back over Wentz, who won it. Like that's what I would have done.
I can see that. Bailey, that's really good. The thing is Mike Bailey is a highlight reel. Like that guy's a human highlight reel. Yeah. I will go to TNA events just to watch Speedball Mike Bailey. I love He's Speedball, that great. Man. Yeah. So. Another Canuck doing the thing properly. But yeah, so Mike Bailey wins it back. Sweet. I just feel like them fumbling the title around like that undermines and they did it to get the X Division title on WWE TV. I get why they did it, but to me it undermines Speedball winning it in his hometown and stopping Mustafa Ali's winning streak. Like I know I've said it many times on the show, folks, but just to reiterate and for Mish here, like remember Mustafa Ali was like, he told New Japan, I'll join the G1, but I can't lose. I have to go undefeated and win the whole thing. Like I'm doing this undefeated run thing that I'm working on. And it was all to give it to Mike Bailey in his hometown. And Mustafa has been sort of like on a bit of a hiatus since, this happened. Yeah. So it was a big, like, that's what it was for. And then just to put it on Wentz and that Ultimate X to have Bailey win it back, I'm like, TNA. I'm not. I don't know. I'll give them a Price is Wrong for that one. But I do. This match was phenomenal, and Bailey is amazing, and Wentz is incredible, and shout out the Rascals. Anyways, moving along, we had Matt Cardona and Steph DeLander take on PCO and Rhino, but this match never actually happened. Now in kayfabe, DeLander and PCO are married. Rhino came back to help PCO after Matt Cardona interrupted DeLander and PCO's wedding and was saying, DeLander, you're my property. And the story is he basically worked it into like, you're my property and you're teaming with me to take on your husband and Rhino type thing. And she's like, I'm not your property, da-da-da-da-da. So when the match starts, right before it starts, the bell, everyone makes their entrances, the bell doesn't even ring yet. DeLander grabs the mic and she reveals that she needs neck surgery, and it's a shoot, brother. This isn't like part of the show. She legitimately needs neck surgery. The fans, I don't think quite understood if she was working or shooting. Like, I think they were kind of like, is this part of it? Is she going to trick him and glom him with a 8-ball sock or whatever? Because that's what they do, So it's like, who knows? Like, DeLander is, you never know. She's with Cardona. Like, everybody probably thought she was going to heel turn on PCO here or stay with Cardona or something again, whatever. But either way, she revealed, that she wakes up in pain every day and she will be back, but it's going to be a long ass time and she needs to get her neck fused or something. I don't know. It's something serious. I don't know if it's that serious, but but yeah, it's a big deal. And she gave a heartfelt whatever, and then took off. And the crowd at first, like by the end, I think they kind of understood it was legit. And then, but Rhino, man, the whole crowd was like gore, like the whole time, dude. They just wanted to see someone get gored. And then what happened was PCO walked off with DeLander. And then Cardona hit Rhino with his move and just like
taunted, like, and then there was a no match. It was a no contest type thing. So, he just attacked Rhino, and maybe we get a rematch between those two. Unfortunate that TNA couldn't get this match off, but also, I mean, they did get a moment, but an unfortunate one out of Delander. Are you familiar with Delander? I'm a huge fan of hers.
I'm semi-familiar. I've seen a few matches and stuff like that, but I couldn't sit there and say I'm a big fan or anything. So.
Okay, yeah. So I don't know. Wishing her a speedy recovery. And Matt Cardona, man, by all accounts, like he's going to be in WWE sooner than later.
King of the Indies, man. Yeah.
Hopefully this Rumble, though, he makes an appearance. That'd be really cool. Comes back as Cardona.
I can see it. Honestly, WWE has been making some crazy moves. Obviously, the whole NXT TNA crossover has been a big one. And we've seen people join in the Rumble. Obviously, Jordan Grace being the biggest name that people remember for that. But I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised to see more TNA talent kind of cross over into the Royal Rumble. Maybe even Survivor Series. Who knows? Make an appearance, something like that. But they seem very willing to work with outside candidates. Obviously, WWE even doing more work with the people in Japan and Mexico. So I look forward to the future as far as all this crossover stuff is concerned. I'm excited for it. I think all wrestling fans should be.
Yeah, I hope. Excuse me. I hope we get a Hendry appearance at the Rumble as well.
Of course.
Just to test it. Yeah. Not saying every TNA guy's come. We're not going to get Nick Nemeth showing up in the Rumble, but I mean, a Hendry, a Cardona, I could totally see it. Moving along, the system, they cut a promo, etc. So we have a Knockouts Tag Team Championship.
Yeah.
Now, Alicia Edwards, part of the system, her storyline gimmick is like, oh, my neck's hurt. So you have Delander actually saying, yeah, I'm done. And then you have Alicia going like, oh, my neck's hurt. And so I need someone to come step in for me. And so you have Spitfire. And if they lose, they must disband. And you have Masha Slamovich and Tasha Steeles, who are the representing the Knockouts titles, I guess, because Alicia can't defend her half of it, and the titles are on the line. So what happens? Is solid match. Spitfire wins. They don't have to disband. Tasha Steeles, I don't get it yet. It has not clicked for me. Whatever it is, it's too much for now. Like, you gotta, I don't know. Whatever it is, man, it just isn't clicking with me. Not to hate on her. She's solid in ring and stuff, but the whole entrance, the whole gimmick, it's like you got to win a world title before you be coming to the ring like that. And you know what I mean? I don't know.
She doesn't even feel like she's on Masha's level.
No, not at all.
And I hate to say that because, once again, I'm not disparaging her. It feels like you have, like Crash Holly with Steve Austin. I don't know how else to put it. Like, Crash Holly was a great wrestler back in the day, clearly, but Steve Austin level, I don't know about that. So, yeah.
Yeah, and so they kick Masha out of the group after this, basically. And so Tasha's more aligned with the system, and good. I don't know. I want to see Masha. When Killer Kelly was on PWT Podcast, I was like, yo, Masha and Alicia's no MK Ultra, and she's like, I know, dude. And I was, they're having a baby, so she's having a baby, so she ain't coming back anytime soon. And I don't think she wanted to say it on the show, so that's why she's like, no, I'm on the roster, but I'm not coming back. I'm just sort of chilling. That's why, guys. Okay, so there you go, and congrats to her and Myron Reed, another member of the Rascals. But either way, though, I want to see Masha and Kelly get linked back up, but that's not going to happen for a long time now. So I don't know, but yes, push Masha as a threat to Jordan Grace. Jordan needs challengers. She can't just clean out the NXT roster now, which we'll get into here because Wendy Chu showed up and showed out. But first, Josh Alexander versus Joe Hendry. Your boy Joe Hendry got the win. Okay, this was a phenomenal match. Go back and check it out. This is I this whole time have been like, we're gonna get Alexander and Ethan Page reuniting to, beat on Hendry or whatever. That has not happened. Maybe we'll still get it down the line. Maybe like the Evil North team up to take on Hendry and Trick Williams or so. I don't know, but it seems like Hendry's time in NXT is sort of done for now. He's going to be more in TNA. So I don't know, but Hendry getting the big win. It was super necessary he gets this win, and he'll be going, I'm sure, like Nemeth the champion still, so spoiler alert, but I don't know. Hendry's around. They got to put the title on him soon. No, I think it only makes sense. Like, he's so over, but then you have a guy like Nemeth who's, I mean, who else do you want to be your world champion when you're rebuilding TNA? So you're in a good position. These are good problems to have for TNA folks, okay? And then you got Josh, who he can put people over like Hendry, and it doesn't hurt him at all. He just had that phenomenal match with Nick Nemeth recently. And yeah, and Josh is saying things like, I should be the one in NXT. I should be the da-da-da-da-da. So that's not dead either. We can, and, you know, Josh has been backstage at WWE shows and stuff. He could totally show up in NXT eventually. I see that happening, actually, because where does Josh go from here now, too? Maybe go show up in NXT and start taking his anger out on people over there. I could totally see it. And this is a phenomenal match. Again, just Joe Hendry so humongously over right now. It's not even funny. It's not even fair to anyone else. But yeah, I implore you to go check it out. We had ABC take on the System, and the System actually won. Now, I want the System to disband here. I'm getting tired of this group. ABC, though, they need to go to NXT, dude. They lost the TNA titles here. They won them, I think it was the third or fourth time.
Right.
These guys are, and I know it's easier said than done. Oh, come on now, Phil. You can't just send everybody over to NXT. I get it. But these guys, again, they've wrestled every tag team. There's nothing for them to do in TNA. Somebody, Shawn Michaels, work it out. Get these boys in NXT. Do some sort of thing where they do something with Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, two generations of the Bullet Club. Have them have a match. Have them align with each other, maybe. And the Gallows and Anderson could call them their young boys or something. Their young lions. I don't know. Do something. Get them out of TNA, bro. Their time's up. They're a phenomenal tag team. The world's ready to see Bay and ABC. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's that time. So great match though. But yeah, I'm not really into the System. I can't sit there and go, oh, I'm super into Eddie Edwards and Brian.
I like Eddie Edwards. I'm going to be one of those people, those random people that actually likes Eddie Edwards. And
I love the Wolves, but
I think he plays such a good scumbag.
He does.
That he just looks like he has a smell to him on television. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. He's a very stock heel in a lot of ways, but he plays it so well. It comes so naturally to him that I enjoy booing him, you know?
Yeah, I do too, I guess. But to me, it's just like, goddamn, I love the Wolves. I'll say that. To me, I'm just like, I'm so over this System group running in TNA, but maybe that's a good thing because I want to see them lose. You know,
well, that's what it is. They're doing their job because now you're like, Jesus, get these guys away from TV. But it's like that's what they're paid to do, and they're doing a good job of it. So. Yeah,
exactly. So I guess it's working. Jordan Grace and Wendy Chu, though, they had a solid match. Yeah. Wendy Chu, I mean, just an NXT challenger. They did the whole thing with Rosemary. If you guys aren't familiar, like Rosemary and Wendy Chu, the story is like I guess they could retcon and go back and even say like Rosemary's the reason Wendy Chu went all evil right before this invasion stuff has started happening. And basically Rosemary attacked Jordan Grace. She's next in line for Jordan Grace. It'll probably be Rosemary next. So awesome. But we need challengers for Grace. And she's going to be in NXT. She's leaving TNA, I think in January, her deal's up, or December. So just in time for that Netflix Raw deal and everything, you know what I mean? So I could just see them even fast tracking her. Like Jordan Grace is already in NXT. So, you know, like she's at the PC training. She's on NXT TV. I could just see them throwing her main roster right away too. But either way, that's fantasy mark booking for the future. Right now, Jordan Grace defends her title, of course, as she would. And Wendy Chu had a great showing, man. I like Wendy Chu. She had a great match at the last pay-per-view, too. Dave, for NXT. Dave Meltzer said it was like a 1.5 star or something like that. Whatever. His ratings are stupid, but Kalani and Chu had an excellent wrestling match at No Mercy, dude. I don't care what anyone says. So this match was solid. Wendy Chu doing the job as she should. And then Rosemary comes out, attacks Jordan Grace some more. Frankie Kazarian comes out. He's doing like Chris Jericho's gimmick from a few years ago.
Nice.
Basically. And I don't know. He's making it work. He's over with the crowd. And then basically Moose and Nemeth throw down. solid match. I spent a lot of time on Victory Road. Nemeth defeats Moose, and JBL comes out, clothesline from Hell's out of Eddie Edwards.
Awesome.
Or I think it was Myers. So he punches Eddie, and then he just clotheslines. So JBL is just showing up in different wrestling companies, Mexico, MLW, TNA. He's just clotheslining people. I love it, man. It's amazing. And it's amazing what WWE's doing with these legends and allowing them to show up different places and letting their talent work other places and, keeping people under legends deals who might show up in MLW or Bloodsport or whatever. But I just enjoy it so much. JBL's understands what to do as well. Like, he's not coming out as like the Wall Street Texan, guy. He's out here in a fucking, he's like doing the Jeff Jarrett, like he's the last desperado, he's out here in a trench coat, a duster, and a cowboy hat. Just
we need that last cowboy gimmick. And if anybody can do it, really is JBL. So he's kind of working the Clint Eastwood bit. So that's perfect.
I love it, man. Yeah, it's amazing. And so yeah, he's here. He's aligned with Nemeth in some sort of way. He came out with him in Mexico as well. So it's just like, hopefully we get an explanation of like why JBL is just showing up clotheslining people, or maybe we don't. Maybe
right. He just does it.
Yeah. Maybe he's just like Sting. He just shows up and people up, and you don't really know what's going on. But either way, what Moose won the first match against Nemeth, and then they were all involved in that 6-man scramble to where Moose was eliminated. Way before, like 3 other people were still left in the match. Nemeth gets the win there over Alexander. Then Nemeth beats Alexander. And then in this rematch, Moose and Nemeth, the story was, Nemeth's like, hey, I got to beat Moose. Like, you actually beat me when I came in. So he gets the dub. We'll probably see a trilogy is what I'm getting at. And I want to see TNA put on like a cage match or something here soon too. They don't get too overly gimmicky. I know the Ultimate X is a little bit, I don't know. Overall, great show. They're cooking. Round of applause for